Today we are going to render lard, and this is a long video, and I apologize now. I will try and fast forward it where I can. I had 12 pounds of bacon that we did not need because it was just 12 pounds that I planned on using just for lard for soap making. And if you hear the dog in the background, she wants to train. She's already trained 4 times today, so I'm ignoring her for the moment. So what I did was I cut off the majority of the fat from the bacon, and then the meat pieces I baked in the oven and used those pieces for sandwiches or salads, whatever. So I just cut off what I needed, and silly me, I haven't done this style before. Nope, I lied. I have, but it wasn't with bacon fat. It was with off of like pork chops, back straps, things like that. So I ended up getting cracklins when I did that. When you do it with bacon, you don't get cracklins, you get bacon bits, which were just as good. So we got like half a gallon bag of bacon bits that we used for a ton of stuff. So all that stuff I ended up baking up, and we had bacon pieces for Sammy. So I added enough water to essentially cover it. I had to keep going back to the sink to get water. And then I put it onto the stovetop. Now you can do it in a crock pot as well. I did do one batch in a crock pot, and then I put it on the stove to get the bacon bits. I added some salt. It made the bacon bits salty as shit, so definitely be careful of that. But the first one I didn't put salt in. That was on the crock pot. On the stovetop is actually a lot quicker. The crock pot, I put it on medium-high heat here, about medium heat, excuse me. And I just let it come to a boil, and just boil. And you can see how thick and stiff these pieces are right now. I end up showing you how they start to become more translucent and all that good stuff. I'm battling a dog, so I'll be back in a moment. So cover it, just let it come to a boil. And this is almost an all-day process. So here we go. All right, so I'm going to show you the ones that I baked before. I forgot to record the first batch I did in the crock pot. So those are the little pieces that came out. Some people may not want to mess with them. When we're in town, we're in a household of 11 people. So this is actually perfect for us for quick sandwiches. Like I said, salads, throwing them into meals, anything like that. What I got out of the crock pot, because then I put it on the stove and got it super, super hot, was these bacon bits. Now, I didn't put salt in the first one that was on the crock pot, that it cooked for 48 hours. And that's what I ended up with. I put it on the stovetop to get it really, really hot. It was perfect, like I said, for us to sit and throw into recipes. You can put it in green beans with some butter, all that good stuff. So as you can see, it's starting to render down. You can see some of the oil on top, which is the lard. If I made this to be, I paused it so you can kind of see how translucent they're starting to become. Some of them were stuck together, so I did sit there and separate them. Do you have to do that? No, I just have OCD, so I did. But if I was doing it to be shelf stable and not for soap making, this was specifically for soap making, I probably wouldn't have added the water, just because I ended up with water still at the bottom of my jars, and that does not make it shelf stable whatsoever. Not much, probably maybe an ounce or half an ounce of water. And then the soap making video will be after this one. But you can see them start to curl up, and they're starting to render down. Like I said, this is a pretty much all day process if you want to get the most out of it. and you can see it starting to boil and everything, and then fog up my phone. And you just keep checking on it, make sure it's not sticking to the bottom. So the reason I did water was because usually when I don't do water, it will stick to the bottom. When you don't use water, I like to do the low and slow method. So like in the crock pot on low and just slowly do it. The water will eventually evaporate out if you do it long enough. And there I'm just pushing it so you can kind of see the lard and how flowy it's becoming now. It's not stiff. It's becoming much easier. This is, again, probably an hour later or so. And now they're moving even easier. Looks like there's less of them there. More translucent. Eventually they get there. Yeah. So it's just an all-day process of I just go in every once in a while and stir it and keep it on probably medium heat so it's a nice low boil. And then towards the end, I bring it up to a big boil. And that's where it's like, okay, I know it's just about done. And you see how there's a lot less in there. And that's because the oils are coming out. The lard is rendering down. And now you're getting all that good fat out. So now I'll bring it up to a higher temperature. And that'll help cook and get those crunchy bits that you like. So if it's anything other than bacon, so off of pretty much any other part of the pig, I was going to say cow, but that would be tallow, you will get cracklings. Like I said, this, you end up with bacon bits. So I just sat here and I allowed it to boil. And eventually it does get hot enough to cook all those little pieces. And then you don't have any of the fat left in there other than in liquid form. And here we go, getting even hotter. You can see where I was trying to show you the line where it was and where it is now because it's starting to cook down. I have cranked the temperature up to almost a high 1. It's getting late. I don't want to leave this on the stovetop. You can see the line there from where we started to how much it has evaporated the water. And how much is left. So the majority of it is now the lard. There's still water in there, don't get me wrong. And then what I like to do is what you call washing your lard. So here we go. You can see it cooking down. We're getting all those nice little nummy pieces. And then I strain it all out. Try and press as much of that out as possible. There's your little bacon bits. So I do it till they're nice crunchy like that. I mean, you see all the crap down at the bottom. I think this is the one where I messed up and I poured water on top, and I shouldn't have. But I'm still learning too. Trying to get all the num-nums. Stupid me, forgot I salted the hell out of this, and I took a big old bite out of it. Oh, I burnt the bottom too, so I got little bits out. Peeled right off though, so that was nice. But I took a big old bite of it, and I forgot how salty it was, and that was a little puckering. So yeah, here I poured water right on top to kind of wash it through. The water ended up sitting, some of it ended up sitting up on top. But the cool part is you can see down here, you can start seeing all the gunk begin to drop. And that's what you want to get nice, clean lard or tallow. You want all those bits to fall down to the bottom. And I shook it just to make sure you guys could see it. So that'll fall down into the water, and that's another reason why I did the water method. So after letting sit for a few days in the fridge because I was busy, here is the one that I did in the crock pot. I think this is the one I let sit in the fridge. So I just go around the edge, and it's messy. This is some I definitely have not mastered. You see it kind of lifting. I never get it out in one piece because I'm just not that good. But see, there it goes, it breaks. But you can see all the gunk at the bottom, and there's just a little bit in the middle there, and it's still kind of watery and icky. A lot of times I'll scrape that off. But again, like I said, this was for soap, so I wasn't really that concerned about it because I just wasn't. And I stuck it in here because I was going to melt it down. I do believe I washed it one more time, which means I added more water to it. And I like to do that until the water is pretty much clear. And then I tried boiling the water out, and you'll see that later. That did not necessarily work, so I would, in hindsight, allow it to sit like this in a bowl or what have you. And then I would take out the lard, and you see all that crap? That's just the excess stuff from doing it. So I do believe I mixed more water in here. Or I'm boiling it out. I can't remember which. It's been a minute since I put this video together. Oh, there's water right there. So I'm washing it one more time. And I'm going to mix it in with the water. And again, that helps drop all that stuff out and get it. So you have that beautiful white lard or tallow. And then I just let it sit in the fridge, harden up. I let it cool on the counter, and then I'll put it in the fridge. Here we go again. Now you can see it actually looks a little whiter. And again, just scrape around the sides. It's super soft. That probably should have been a clue to me. But look at how clean my water is. That is wonderful. And it was cold as all get out too. So I just grabbed it with my hands. Stuck it in there. Got as much of it out as possible. You could probably use a cheesecloth or something as well. I just got my hands dirty. Because like I said, I wasn't using this for food. I was using it for soap. Trying to clean off my hands. That water was so cold though. And now we're melting it down again. And this is the other one where I poured the water over it. And you can see the water sitting on top. And this one actually came out fairly clean. But I'm washing it again. But you can see how it's not hard. And that's part of the problem of doing it with water that I have found. If anybody has any suggestions or if I'm doing it wrong, definitely let me know. But you can see some of the icks on the bottom. And that's what you're trying to get out. So I think I ended up getting a little scooper to help with this because this was a pain. There we go. So this one, again, I melted it down, got some water in there, and washed it again. And then the second wash, it actually came out pretty darn clean. So again, melted it down. Got all nice and melty. And then I got the other one going as well. And then with this one, because I was done cleaning it, if you will, I melted it down and then I just put it in a bowl with no added water or anything like that. I boiled it, trying to get all the water out of it because I could still see water on the surface. So I just sat boiling it, and it looked like when you fry stuff, you see all that water in there, and that's what's coming up and boiling is all that water. And I didn't do it until it was done boiling. I probably should have. I did not. Or like I said, I should have just left it in a bowl and then pulled it out and done that a few times until there was no more water in it. So, lesson learned. Take that from me. But I just jarred it up. I did the same with that one. Just stuck it in a bowl because I was done. And there's an ew, but that ends up not showing up later. So I kind of doinked that, hoping it went down to the bottom. And then you'll see where I pull them out, and they're nice and clean and pretty. And then I just melted them down and stuck them in jars. Like I said, I wasn't eating this. I wasn't using this for food. I was using it for soap. So if I did it for food, I would wash it like this, and then I would melt it down and keep putting it into bowls like this until I pulled the puck out and there was absolutely no water on the bottom. Like there's a little there, and I was like, oh, okay. You see that little bit of ick? You want to get rid of that. And then that's it. So, hope that helps, and there's tons of videos that I'm sure go into much better detail than me. Have a good day.